In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 reasons to not roll over your 401k into an IRA, at least not before you check a few things first. A prospective client came to me a few years ago. He was in his late 50s and had just left his job after restructuring. His plan was to roll his 401k into his IRA, consolidate everything, and move on. Reasonable, except he was 57, he had an outstanding loan against the plan, and he was going to need income before he was 60. 3 things that would have changed the decision entirely, and none of them had yet been considered. I'm not here to talk you out of a rollover. A rollover can absolutely be your best choice. But before you move retirement money you spent decades building, you should know what options you might be giving up, because some of them, once gone, you can't get back. The first reason to pause is something called the Rule of 55. This matters if you're planning to retire before age 59 and a half. Generally speaking, taking money out of a traditional IRA before 59 and a half means income tax plus a 10% early withdrawal penalty unless you qualify for a specific exception. But with a 401k, there's a plan-based rule that can help some people. If you separate from service in or after the year you turn 55, you may be able to take withdrawals from that employer's 401k without the 10% penalty. The withdrawals are still taxable, but the penalty may not apply. Now, the moment you roll that 401k into an IRA, that option may be gone. So if you're 57, you're leaving a job, and you might need income before 60, your 401k may have a door, the IRA does not. The question isn't just, can I roll this over? The better question is, what am I walking away from if I do? The second reason involves required minimum distributions, or RMDs. This applies if you're still working into your 70s. With a traditional IRA, RMDs must begin once you reach the required starting age, which depends on when you were born. But with a current employer's 401k, there may be an exception. If you're still working and you own less than 5% of the company, you may be able to delay RMDs from that plan until after you retire. IRAs don't give you that delay. So if you're 74, still working, and you move your current employer's 401k into an IRA, you may have just created required withdrawals you could have legally postponed. For some people, that's the difference between controlling the timing of your income or having the IRS control it for you. The third reason applies only if your 401k holds highly appreciated employer stock. There's a strategy called net unrealized appreciation, or NUA. Without going deep into the mechanics, it involves a specific way to distribute employer stock out of retirement plan that can result in different and potentially more favorable tax treatment on part of the gain. If you roll everything into an IRA without reviewing the employer stock first, you may eliminate or complicate that opportunity entirely. If your 401k is all mutual funds, this won't apply to you. But if there's employer stock in that account, get advice before you move anything. This is one of the harder items to unwind after the fact. The fourth reason is protections. I have to be careful here because this involves legal considerations, and I'm not an attorney. But generally speaking, 401k plans have strong federal-level creditor protections. IRAs also have protections, but the rules may differ depending on your state and your specific situation. For most people, this never becomes relevant. For some people, business owners, executives, professionals with elevated liability, it can matter considerably. Don't assume a 401k and an IRA carry identical protection in every circumstance. If creditor or legal protection is a concern in your situation, talk to the right advisors before rolling the money out. The fifth reason to slow down before rolling your 401k into an IRA is one that a lot of people don't think about until it's too late: outstanding loans. If you have a loan against your 401k and leave your employer or initiate a rollover, that loan may come due faster than you expect. Here's how it typically works. When you separate from service with an outstanding 401k loan, the plan usually requires the full balance to be repaid by your tax filing deadline for that year, including any extension. If you can't repay it in time, the outstanding balance is treated as a distribution. That means taxable income. And if you're under 59 and a half, it may also carry a 10% early withdrawal penalty on top of the taxes. So imagine someone in their late 50s. They're changing jobs, they're excited about consolidating accounts, they initiate a rollover, and they have a $30,000 outstanding loan against the plan. If that loan doesn't get resolved properly, they may be looking at a $30,000 taxable event they weren't planning for, all because no one considered the outstanding loan before initiating the rollover. There may still be options, but they're time sensitive, they have to be handled correctly, and they need to be identified before the rollover happens, not after. So before you roll over any 401k, ask whether there's an outstanding loan on the account. If there is, that loan needs to be a part of the decision, not an afterthought. None of this means a rollover is wrong for you. It just means that a rollover is an impactful decision and needs to be thought through carefully. If a 401k rollover is in your best interest, this video is a step-by-step thorough guide on how to roll over your 401k to an IRA.